Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a book review video. I have 6 books, and it's just an okay kind of group this time. They really weren't like standout books this time. So let's get right into it. So the first book I have, it's a 2-in-1 book. It's a Harlequin book. It's under the category Home and Family. It's called Three for the Cowboy. It's by Barbara White, Daille, I guess is how you say her last name, and Tina Leonard. That's what it looks like. So the first book, it's about this cowboy who comes back to his hometown, and he finds this woman he had a fling with before he left earlier in the year. She is pregnant, and he finds out that it's his kids. It's 3 babies, and he's trying to get her to marry him in this book and try to get her to see, she doesn't have to do it on her own. He can be there to help her and stuff like that. The second book, it's the same thing. It's about a cowboy. I did read a book. The second book is kind of like a series of books. I did read a book that went along with the same characters. It's the same family. And here's this rodeo guy. He wouldn't ride I don't know if he rode bulls or something like that. I don't remember. So if I look really red, I'm really hot for some reason. He did something with bulls, like in a rodeo. And something happens where he gets picked the most, meanest bull you can get. And he almost, he hurts himself. And this woman who he loves decides to take care of him. And, before that, his brothers and his girlfriend try to get him really drunk the night before so he can't ride, and she ends up having sex with him. And then it turns out that after the accident, she finds out she's pregnant. She's kidnapped by her boyfriend's uncle, and they have to wait, and this other woman that I think works on the ranch both get kidnapped, and they have to wait a while before they can rescue them for some reason. I forget why they have to wait for that one. I don't remember. But these books are really good. I mean, I think it's just because I haven't read Harlequin books in a while. But this one I'm starting the next book reviews, the next books for the next book review video, and it's Christmas books. And the one I'm reading is a 3-in-1 book, and it's Christmas, and it's Harlequin. And this is one, I think these were from the 90s, but the ones I'm reading, they're just okay. They're not that great of books. So this one, I don't ever remember where I got this book from. I just wanted to read it because it was a small book. I wanted to get ahead with these books, so I had enough time to read Christmas books, or start a little bit early reading Christmas books. And then I got sick in the beginning of the month, so I spent a week where I couldn't read because I was just too sick. This one is a smaller book. It's called Someone Like You. It's by Sara, Dessen. I would consider this a young adult book. This is what it looks like. When I first started reading, was it this book? No, it wasn't this book. When I first started reading it, I thought it was about adult women, because it talked about this guy that her friend liked died, and they were kind of going out. They were boyfriend, girlfriend, and he died in a car accident. And here, when they get to the next chapter, not the next chapter, they talk about the main character. She's in some kind of camp. And that's when I'm kind of oh, so they're not adults, they're teenagers. So what happens in this book is basically the main character gets into a relationship with this bad boy-esque type of guy where he skips school, he doesn't really care about his classes, that type of thing. And her friend finds out that she's pregnant with her dead boyfriend's baby. And she, in the beginning, she wanted to get rid of it. She didn't want to keep it. She's I'm only 16 years old. I know I can't be a mom. And then she changes her mind. And so her friend helps her get through her pregnancy, helps her with it. And then her and her boyfriend, the main character's boyfriend, they have a spat that turns into something really bad happens to her. And I don't know, like, the thing that happens in the book that really changes it with her and her boyfriend, if that ever happened to me, I would not want to be with that person anymore. It was just an okay book. Like, I mean, it was really, like, young adult type of book. Like, there was a lot of drama in it, you know. I mean, she's like, oh, I really love this guy, and I don't know if he likes me, that type of thing, you know. But it was a good book. It was just, I don't know. It was okay. So this book, I like reading these books. It's a series of books. It's an imponderables book, which is like questions about things that you might have always wondered about, but you never really knew, or you couldn't ever like figure it out or whatever. They were like, these books are written like in the 80s, early 90s, that type of thing. This one was written in 1989. And it takes a while to get through it because it's just questions. There's no chapters or anything. And this one was, it's one of the questions in this book. It's called When Do Fish Sleep? It's by David Feldman. That's what it looks like. And in the back of the book, it has questions about imponderables that even they couldn't figure out. They call them frustrables or something like that. It just basically has different questions in it. Some of them are really outdated, like about why can you like rewind tape, but you can't use the back of like the VCR tapes to record stuff, that type of thing. They were like, this book is like really outdated, but I really like them because there are questions in this book that you're like, oh yeah, like when do fish sleep? You never see fish sleep, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Why are tennis balls fuzzy? Like, I never knew why they were fuzzy. Why is yawning contagious? I mean, that's always a question everybody has, you know? So that one was an educational type of book. So this book, it was good. In my opinion, it was too long of a book. The ending almost made me cry. It's called The Friday Night Knitting Club. It's by Kate Jacobs. This is what it looks like. It's basically about this woman who owns this. She's a single mother. She owns this knitting store, and every Friday night, her and her friends from the knitting store have like a little meeting where they knit things. They ask for help knitting things. The main character in this book, her thing is her baby daddy, that she got pregnant with this guy. It was like an interracial relationship. And I guess she felt like, I don't know if it was her, I think it was his parents felt like, her baby daddy's parents felt it was kind of awkward for them to have a relationship and to have had a baby when she found out she was pregnant. Like, I don't know. It was weird. But anyway, so it's her and her daughter, and here her baby daddy comes back into her life. And he really wants to be a part of his daughter's life because he never had a chance to. Because I forget what happened. I read this book first. That was when I got sick. I don't remember why. I know they broke up, but I don't remember, like, I think it was because of that, like, with his parents' stuff. But I don't know what he did after, I forget. But anyway, he wants to have a life with his parents, or be a dad to his daughter. And then something happens to the main character in this book where she's trying to figure out her life. Basically, like, why did this happen to me, you know, and then there's this woman in the book who, she had a one night stand with this guy because she wanted to have a baby, and she got pregnant, and she's like an older woman who's having this baby, and this young woman who just comes to the store to like ask these women questions, eventually like coaches her through, like, having a baby, you know, takes her to Lamaze classes as her labor coach, that type of thing. So it's basically a book where, like, it's a couple different women, and they all have different stories, and they all come together at the end, except the end is really sad. Like, I almost cried, and I usually don't cry at the end of books. So this book was okay. I thought it was going to be better. I thought this book was going to be a book where it was about different girls' stories, about this book. It's called Radar Girls. It's by Sara Ackrman. It takes place, during World War II. That's what it looks like. It happens right after, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And it's this woman who, she's kind of like a plain Jane type of woman. Like, she works on this ranch. Her mother is, like, in grieving for her husband that died, like, I don't know if it was, like, a couple years ago or just recently, don't remember. So she, and, like, nobody thinks she can amount to anything. Like, she's not really, like, people think she's not, like, the smartest girl. So here what happens is these, army men come to see her and the family's daughter and stuff, and they take them to, they want her to know if they want single women or women that aren't married yet or have kids, so that way they don't have a lot, like, on their plate, to go into this thing to become a ward, which I forget what the acronym is for, like, the words for the acronym are. And here it's about, they're trying to, the main thing is kind of like, there is a lot of, like, technical stuff about what they do, but basically it's kind of like, they go into these places, and there's these big maps, where they have to track planes to see if these planes, where these planes are going, if these planes are if the planes are the American planes, or if there's some kind of, like, enemy plane, that type of thing. And basically in this book, it's about her, trying to prove herself to these people. She works with this group of women who they all have their own little problems they're working out, and she ends up having this relationship with her boss's son, that type of thing. It was a good book. There was, like, some shocking things that happened in this book, especially when it came to about her dad and how he really died, that type of thing. It had, like, an ending, because it takes place, you know, after Pearl Harbor, and then goes all the way up to when I think the war ended, that type of thing. And it was a nice book. Like, everybody in the book had some kind of, like, ending that was a good ending, you know, like, for those characters. So this book, I really did not understand this book, and I got this book last year. I thought it came out last year, and here when I looked to see when it was written in 2017. I read this book. I wanted to read this book because there's a prequel. I didn't know it was a prequel, but I thought it was a sequel to this book. And then when I looked, when I finished this book, I was like, well, maybe if I like this book, then I'll get the sequel to it, and here it's a prequel to it. This is called They Both Die at the End. It's by Adam Silvera. I guess that's how you say his last name. I butcher people's last names, so I'm sorry if I'm saying their names wrong. Last name's wrong. This is what it looks like. It's about these two. Well, it's about this thing. It's called, like, Death Cast, I think it's called, where they call you and they tell you you have one day to live and you're gonna die by the end of the day, or something like that. And nobody knows why this is a thing. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows how this came about. And here these two, like young adults, are, like, they're like 19, 18, that type of thing. They both find out they're gonna die that day. And here the one goes on this, like, app where you could go on it and you could be a person that helps you get through the day. Like, you could be a person that's gonna die that same day too, or somebody that could, like, is gonna live that day and, you know, help you through that day until you're gone, basically. It's a weird book. Um, they both have different. Um, these two boys come from different like parts of life. Like the one's dad is in a coma from something that happened to him, and he wants to go see his dad, but he's afraid because he's going to die that day, and he wants to make sure he says goodbye to his dad before it's too late because he doesn't know if his dad's ever going to wake up. The other one lost all of his family in a car accident. He's the only one that lived, and he wishes it was him that would have died and his family to live. It ended. I mean, the way that it ended was kind of well, it was sad, but it was kind of like it was bound to happen because of what the one said in the beginning of the book about this issue that they had in the beginning of the book. And the other one, like, I think they really started. They started to kind of like form like a relationship with each other, a loving relationship, like boyfriends, that type of thing. And it was a cute book, but it was just like, it was just a weird book. I don't think I'm going to read the prequel to it because it's called like, I think the first one to die or something like that. It's called, I don't remember. But it was just okay. Like, the ending to the book, there really wasn't an ending, so that's why I thought it was like a sequel to the book. But I don't know. It was just an okay book. So that's my book review video for this month. I'll see you guys next time with Christmas books, because it'll be Christmas. So hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time.